Project Search. Hi, it's Danny again. Today I'll be talking to you about some things that you should definitely avoid saying during a job interview. We've been doing this a while, so I'm sure you realize that anything you see and hear in the video will be coming up on a quiz at some point later on, so pay attention. Also, it is important and useful information, so you should pay attention for that reason as well. The things you say at a job interview can make the difference between being offered a job and being passed over for another applicant. We have practiced interview skills during Project Search a few times so far. We have focused on the best ways to answer questions and how to conduct oneself during the interview. Today, we will consider a few things you should not say during an interview. Pay attention. One day soon, you will be interviewed by an employer, and you don't want to make any of the silly mistakes that you'll learn about in this presentation. And remember that a job interview is a very important step on your path to a great job. And to remind you, your path to a great job is learning job skills, which you're doing at Project Search. Then searching for a job, submitting resumes and applications to businesses and organizations. Then your job interview, and then eventually a job offer. So the first thing to not say, do not say, I have had other interviews and I'm considering other offers. Never mention jobs you've interviewed for or that you may have been offered when you were in a job interview. The interviewer might think you aren't serious about the position they are trying to fill, or they might think you're arrogant. Either way, you could ruin your chances if you mention any other offers you've received. This is very important. So as much as we might be happy if we have, say, already been offered a job, but we haven't said yes yet, we may want to tell everybody. But when you're in the job interview, don't mention those other offers. Keep those to yourself. Do not say, will I have to take a drug test, or what types of drugs do you test for? Now, if you make that sort of a statement in a job interview, you may get a look something like that. In other words, people are going to wonder why you're asking such questions about drug tests. Do not mention drug testing during your interview. You could give the employer the wrong idea about yourself. If, however, the interviewer asks you whether you are willing to submit to a drug test, always say yes. So don't mention drug testing unless you're asked. And if they ask if you'll take one, say yes. Do not say, I have no weaknesses. If an interviewer asks you what your weaknesses are, never say you don't have any. Instead, be prepared for the question so that you can answer it honestly, but also in a way that shows you are interested in self-improvement. In other words, describe something that you struggle with, but that you are taking steps to improve in. For example, perhaps typing is something you struggle with, and you could mention that. You are trying to get better at typing because that's one of your weaknesses. And you could talk about how you are perhaps going to take an online course, or you take online exercises to improve your speed and accuracy with your typing. So it's that kind of thing. You want to share something that really is a weakness. Don't pretend like you don't have any. But at the same time, you explain what it is you're doing in order to improve in that area. Do not say, I have an anger management problem. Never say anything during a job interview that might make the interviewer think you have trouble controlling your emotions. Employers want to hire workers who can get the job done. They don't want to bring people into their organizations who they think could be a risk to the safety of their other employees. In a job interview, even if you're kidding around, don't make any kind of statement that makes it sound as though you're going to get really angry and fly off the handle or scream or yell or worse. If you do have issues with anger management, that's something to talk with family about or a counselor. That is not something to talk about in a job interview. Can you think of any other things you should avoid saying at a job interview? What should you say instead of the statements that were discussed in this presentation? Take a little time to go back and think about those statements, those do not say statements, and see if you can think of any others. Then when we get together, I'm going to see what you guys came up with. I'm really looking forward to hearing your ideas about this topic. I only really touched on a handful of things you shouldn't say in a job interview. There are a lot of things that you shouldn't say in a job interview. When we get together, uh, as I said, hopefully you'll have some ideas, but I will also share some other thoughts about things you need to avoid. And of course, we're going to practice job interviews a lot. They are quite important. Stay safe out there. I'll talk to you soon.